It is day number 37 of vlogging for 20 minutes a day for 365 days this year. And no edits, no filters, whatever happens, happens. And I am so thankful for you guys. Like, it's amazing what you could do. You guys are literally throwing super chats and super thanks to donate to the charity that is really near and dear to my heart. It's No Kid Hungry. And right now we've raised, I want to say it's over $700 now of the $1,000 that I want to be able to give once a month. We're getting really close to the end of the month. So if you guys could throw some more donations in there, there's a GoFundMe in the link in the description. That money will go directly to them and I don't have to remove it out of an account anywhere. But I do appreciate the super thanks and the super stickers. It's incredible what we're all doing together by helping out these charities. So thank you so much. I was a kid that needed the support. So to see you guys supporting these kids that are going to get these future meals so that way they don't have to go hungry is so incredibly beautiful. Thank you. There should be a poll going up after this video of the next charity that we're going to give to. So make sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss it and vote for what charity you want the next one to be. I want you guys to be as involved as we are. I just realized I left this door open. Oh, that's why I left the door open. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Frankie. My wife is Alex. She's not here right now. She is at home. My daughter's Everly, and we have a little dog, Paco, too. They're incredible. Everly's at daycare right now. It is our 3rd day back in Canada, and it feels pretty good, but I have a lot of work to do. This right behind me is our trailer. This is the hideout. This is a 47-foot trailer. This is our stationary home. Right now, we have a lot of things to do and fix before we could be in it full time. And so Alex is at her parents' house at the moment. But I'm going to show you guys what's happening and what we have to do. The things that I have done to this trailer is I've set up my own shore power with solar. So in here is a battery bank. This is a Vader 460 amp 12 volt battery. It's self-heated, so we don't have to worry in the wintertime. We have an inverter that does 3,000 watts and a MPPT controller that's right now cranking out 37 amps. We are fully charged on this battery right now because of that. We have 4 panels on the roof. They're Renogy solar. And Renogy has these shadow flux panels that are absolutely amazing, to be quite honest with you. They're cranking in the sun, where the other panels I have on the small trailer from Bouge RV don't seem to be doing so well. So these are the panels I would go with if I was to get some more panels at the 200 watts, which are great. If you wanted some bigger panels, you could go for that. But these ones are working phenomenal for us. I'm probably going to add 2 more panels to this array. And hopefully that gives us a little more juice. So that way when we're running the air conditioner and all the other stuff at the same time, we're staying topped off so we could get, you know, through a full day when there's not as much sun. But I've hooked up this 30 amp cord right here, and that runs down and to the house. And so I've turned the converter off because the solar charges both the battery in there as well as the front battery. And that's how everything's run 12 volt. And then we have a 120 air conditioner, a 120 fridge. So we need to have the 120 kicking basically all the time to keep those things running. So that's some of the stuff I've done so far on the trailer. I've also put a security camera on it here from Reolink. Phenomenal to have. And we have the Starlink chilling in the background to make sure that we have service while we're out here. We're on a 4-acre plot, so it's like a fairly good size. But we have 2 big projects coming up on this trailer. One is we have to reline the roof and reseal the roof of this because we've been getting moisture down this, and it's been going into potentially these cracks here on the side and making its way underneath to the bottom right here. Watch this. You can see the water dripping from there. That is no good. So that right there is causing a huge issue inside. and I'll take you inside to see it, and you'll understand what we're going through. Now, the trouble is that I've never fixed something like this before, and I'm gonna have to look online. Okay, put this down over here. Okay. So I've never fixed anything like this before, so it'll be my first time fixing. Mind the mess, guys. I am in the process of working in here, so it might be a little messy. I apologize. I got to get some measurements so I could get wood for this, so that's why I brought a tape measure. And in here, do I have a phone? Yep. We get a light on in here, so that way we could see what's happening. You can see in here that there's actually mold growing right there. And there's some mold on the wood over there. Other than that, everything else looks pretty good. So I know for a fact that I have to cut out that floor and change it. And the stuff that's on that wood looks surface, so pretty easy to get rid of. This other side seems to be okay. There's no damage in this one either. It's only the kitchen slide, which is very unfortunate because it has the most stuff that is connected to things in it. Like we have propane lines and electrical lines and all that stuff in there. So I'm going to try to work around it, and I'm hopeful that I could put a piece of wood in here without removing much. That's my hope, because the floor has literally fallen out and everything is still standing super strong. So that's telling me that all the stuff in here is connected to the framing, which is connected to the slide itself and not to the actual floor. So my hope is that I could work around it, maybe cut that out and then slide a new piece of wood in there without having to remove much. Do you think I could do that? Is that the way? Or do I have to pull everything down and apart and pull everything out to put a new piece of wood in there? And I think while I'm doing that, one of the things that I'm probably going to do is find where that leak's coming from. If I have to pull everything out, if I have to pull everything out, I'm gonna somehow figure out a way to spray water on the roof and then see where it comes in. And then I could seal it from the inside as well as the outside, and we could work from there. But one of the problems I have is I don't have water out here unless I fill the tank. And so another project we have is that shed right there is going to get that water tank and that water tank put inside of it most likely. And we're going to heat that. We're going to put insulation on that. And we're going to put a heater in there so that way when the fall comes and when the spring is here and the temperatures get really low, we could heat that and we don't have to worry about a water freezing. And then I do have a heated hose that I could run and a pump that I could turn on to be able to fill up the water tank. And then we'll just live off the water tank, right? And another thing I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to wind up putting a skirt on this and insulating the underneath so that way we don't have to worry about cold temperatures and our water lines and stuff freezing. Right now there's antifreeze in there, or the RV antifreeze that is food grade approved that we have in there. We'll still have to flush the lines totally, but that's what's keeping the lines from freezing on those very cold winter days. So everything becomes not usable. And I would like to be able to stay in here in the winter sometimes, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. And I don't think it's going to be the case because it's really hard to keep something like this heated in the winter time, unless you have it set up just right. And then we have all these trusses right here. Those trusses we bought for about $3,000. And the way it works in Canada, at least in Ontario, you have to have a company build those for you. And because of the whole tariff stuff that was happening and whatnot, and is still happening today, we purchased those before that so that way it would be cheaper. So we can only imagine how much the prices potentially went up for this specific size of trellis. The problem is we're not doing that plan anymore. So we spent the money and we realized that the project was actually going to turn into about a $30,000 project instead of an $8,000 project. And the problem is this is not our land, so we can't resell the area to somebody else potentially down the road. And so it's an investment that just kind of you're lighting on fire, and you can't turn it around into a profit or regain that money. So what I'm going to do is I am still going to build little roofs over the slide outs. So that way, if there is any type of moisture happening, even though I'm going to toppy cool this, or not toppy cool, but use a product to seal off everything again, I still want to try to get the rain off of these as much as humanly possible. So I'm going to use the wood from those trellises and make these awnings so that way we can stop any type of moisture from getting down the roof and onto the slide. So that way, once I change this, it's good to go. We don't have to do anything. And I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm probably going to get it to connect inside there. So that way it's fully connected and squeezed together. And so that way we don't have any issue with having to go into the ground with posts or anything like that. I don't know. It's going to be a big project, a lot to do. And I kind of have to do this all in a month's time because I think I told you yesterday in yesterday's video that unfortunately I lost the date of my surgery because I was still in Portugal and couldn't receive calls. And even though they knew that, I was still supposed to be able to receive a call 7 days before, which they didn't tell me that originally, so I wasn't aware. And I lost the surgery date of the 24th of April. And now my surgery date is pushed till potentially June 1st, which is fine because it gives me a lot of time to get this work done. But I have to be like in full work mode to be able to get all this done. And sometimes it's hard to do when you're distracted. But the good part is we have Everly in daycare twice a week. So those days, I think, will be the days where we get a lot done. I have a buddy named Nate that's been in the videos before who helps me when I have projects like this, and I pay him. And so I think between him and myself on the weekends, we'll be able to get quite a bit done. And then when I don't have him, I'll do a lot of work by myself. So I know that Alex wants to make a couple of changes. I know she wants to change this area here. So I'll start talking to her about that. And she actually was talking about potentially changing this area. So maybe I do just pull the whole thing out. As much as I don't want to do that, I'm thinking like maybe the best thing to do is to remove the whole area and start from scratch. And that way I can make sure everything's sealed and working. The fridge is still going to have to be like in the area it's in, so that I won't change. But this right here is kind of silly because it's not divided up. And so you don't maximize your space here. So maybe if it was a slide out and we could access it from both sides, that might be nice. Yeah. And then this area here is okay though. I don't mind this at all. But then there's this huge door here that I guess you could keep pots and pans and stuff, but that whole floor is molded. So I got to rip out the whole entire carpet. It almost makes sense to just remove this whole area and rebuild it. I think I'm kind of having this epiphany that I have to remove it all, which kind of sucks. But what I can do is measure everything, have all my measurements in place, and then when we go to put it back in, we can make the modifications that we want to make and, you know, have a nicer space over here. because there is a lot of room that's like left untouched. Like even underneath the refrigerator, there's so much space there that's not being used that could be storage. And if we're not moving this trailer, then we might as well make it exactly what we want. Like even this island top, we could technically change this. We could change the sink out to a nicer sink. There is a sink that is like a sink and dishwasher. We might put one of those in here. And then we have no area over here for like where shoes could go. So like when you come in the door, there's nowhere to put shoes. So maybe we make an area where shoes could go as well. My wheels are turning. What can we get done in 1 month time? I feel like we could get quite a bit done. Even in like just a week's time, I feel like a lot could get done. But the problem is going to be this slider right here. I might have to commit to getting professional help, but maybe we just tackle it ourselves. I notice when it comes to projects, I like to try to gain information from places. So I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time on YouTube trying to figure out exactly what you do for this slider. Because if I know how to fix the floor of this slider, it will be fairly easy to fix the floor of this slider. YouTube University? Yeah? What do you guys think? Do you use YouTube quite a bit to figure out solutions to problems? And do you find that when you use YouTube to try to fix these problems, that they don't give you all the information? They only show you the finished product and they don't give you an update later on down the road? In this video or this channel, this concept where we do everything, where we do a vlog every day, you're going to see if what I do to this actually works. Because if it doesn't, you're going to see it in the video not working. And so I'm going to have to be honest and upfront. And it might take some time before you see it, in the condition and the state of it being done to like what other problems with it. But I do love this space. This AC right here is actually a heat pump as well. So it does heat and cooling. And I've tested it with the solar running it all, and it runs great, does well. And we're able to keep up with the load because it's 1200 watts and we're pulling in around right now, around about 700 watts for the setup we have. When I add the 2 more panels, that will improve it and we'll get it closer to when this is running. But also, we're not going to have to run it all day, every day. Granted, it does get pretty hot here. So on the really hot days, you might have to run it all day. And on those days, we won't be able to keep up with the full demand of, what we need here. So maybe what I'll do down the road is I'll set up another MPPT controller with a whole nother panel setup, and that will hopefully get us over the hump. If we could get like 3,000 to 4,000 watts of continuous charge, we will be good to go. The hardest part is the winter time when you don't have all the sun. Like we're about to come into the time of the year where we're getting 12 hours of sunlight. Where in the wintertime, we're only getting like 5 max. Maybe a little more, maybe 6, but the peak is only like 2 hours. Yeah. It's confusing, I know, but it all makes sense at the end of the day. So right now I'm sitting down doing a fair amount of thinking, but I'm going to have to make some measurements. So let's see if that piece of wood comes all the way out to this edge. I need this area here plus that. So that is 2 feet. Plus another, so I think we'll say 2 feet 4 inches about of width, and then the full length of this. So we're gonna need at least 1 sheet of plywood. That's what it looks like. I can't do this with one hand, so that's our 20 minutes. I think 1 sheet of plywood is gonna work, but I'll update you guys tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye.